Excited about this group. This is our first time we've been over here in this gym, so we practice over there all the time. We got to get over here a few more times, especially so we get used to this facility. But appreciate it, excited about the year, and what questions you guys have, we'll start answering them.
All right, Coach, first your thoughts about Dylan and Ace, obviously two top recruits, getting their opportunity to see them here in a scrimmage. What's your thoughts about how they did?
They're not sleepers, that's for sure. Everyone is, asked. I think what you saw, that they're elite passers. They're great kids from great families, and thankful that they're here. I think the guys around them too appreciate their skill set and what they do, for everybody. So, they're both going to have really good years. They're really talented players, but they work. They're good workers and they're good teammates, and they really pass the ball at a high level, and I like that. And their teammates like to play around them, and they're young. Their best basketball's ahead of them, so exciting to have them, and exciting to have the guys around them. This is the group that came back, and this is the group that came. These kids have a lot of choices now, and they picked us, so we're very appreciative of that.
Steve, what do you think of this group's defense at this stage, and how can it be a different defensive team than maybe the years past?
Yeah, I think it's always the hardest thing, especially 5 freshmen coming out of high school. They don't spend a lot of time on that end of the floor, and they get recruited because they put the ball in the basket. But they've made strides. We only had 4 hours a week, so today's the end of it. Tomorrow we'll start 20 hours. I haven't had them for that long of a time, but they're getting better. They have some emergency defense. We got some tremendous length. We're as big as we've ever been physically at every position. I think Emmanuel's made huge strides. He's good. He's physical and he's long. I really like where he is. Our returning guys obviously are ahead. J. Mike can guard anybody. He's really a good defender. Jeremiah can guard anybody. He's a good defender. And now with Ace and Dylan's size, they kind of can do some emergency stuff. So I think we're getting better, but I don't think any coach in the country will tell you they like their team or their defense or anything right now. But we're figuring it out, and they really are. We got good leadership, Zach Martini has given us some fiber, too, on that end with his voice and his leadership. And Jordan's been a fantastic defender. Now, he was the defensive player of the year in that league, and he loves to guard Ace, Dylan. He's taken that challenge on. There's never a practice that he's not guarding one of those guys. So I kind of like his edge, too, that he brings on that end of the floor.
Steve, how big of a challenge is it for you to sort of build a team on the fly here with all these new pieces?
Yeah, it's always a challenge, We've already dealt with some, injuries, too, so that's always challenging. And one day you have a guy, then the next you don't. I think it's what you got to get used to now. College has changed. College basketball's changed. You got to build a team every year. And I like these guys are good learners, and they're, we got a nice blend. We got some older fifth-year guys that have been from winning programs, and then, a blend of the 5 freshmen that are talented and long and athletic. But it's a huge challenge, and you got to do it in a hurry, and you only got 20 hours a week for the next 4 weeks, and then you're playing Alabama and Houston and Seton Hall. You got to do it quickly. So we watch a lot of film. I love my staff. I got everybody, back, and then we brought Jay Young back into the fold, a veteran coach, and Brandon Knight's spectacular, does an unbelievable job. So I like the fact that, our core has remained the same with our staff, and we'll keep teaching, great habits and great cores, and hopefully these guys will pick up fast, and we got enough depth. If they don't, we're going to have to figure it out later on, because we're going to keep moving.
When dealing with Dylan and Ace, how do you kind of balance letting them play free but also keeping them within the system?
Yeah, they are, they are really unique. Ace is just so big and can play 5 positions, and Dylan, they've been playing all their lives. They played top competition too, so we got to move them around. I think that's the important part. They can really be moved around. They can play multiple positions. Our veteran guys too will do a good job. Like Zach Martini's an excellent cutter. He's a good screener. He does some little things that, I think will help Ace and Dylan. And P.J. Hayes shoots the ball at a high level. He's really learning our defense. So I think if we surround those guys and give them some room to do what they can do, they show me something new every day too. So I'm really getting to learn some of the things that they can do too. So we'll keep adding more to our system as we keep seeing, but they're exciting problems, to have.
Steve, what's the latest with Tyson Acuff and his injury, and do you expect him to be back for the start of the season?
Oh, yeah. All along, I think he's ahead of schedule, so excited about, him. His foot is healed, and, he's starting to do stuff. He can't do contact yet or anything like that, but he's right on target. Actually, he's ahead of schedule, so we expect him back, and he's a nice piece. He knows how to play. He was playing really well up until when he got the injury, too, so just gives us some more added depth and another shooter, too, to put on the floor.
Steve, you named Jeremiah and Zach captains. Can you talk about what went into that decision and why they became those captains?
Well, I will tell you, Jeremiah, since the season's been over last year, was the one guy in the gym all the time. He was the guy getting Emmanuel into the weight room, and Jay Mike and those guys. So he really started that journey. And you saw the last, 8 or 9 games of the season last year, what he meant. He was the voice in our locker room, and he was the voice in the huddles. And then once our new guys came in, he was the guy. Come to my house. We're meeting at this time. We're playing pickup at this time. So, he acted like a captain. Then he went about doing the things that make you a captain. And then through our 8-9 weeks, Zach kind of earned that. The respect of everybody, his work, he's into leadership too. I mean, and not many players in America wrote a book. And part of it was, about leadership, when he came out of Princeton. So, he talked about that on his recruiting trips too, being a leader and being a captain and that kind of thing. So kind of earned it, and the players felt that way. We felt that way as a staff, and I think we got some other guys too that have some leadership qualities too. So we may add a couple more if we can. I'd like to have, another guy too that has that title. But those 2 guys clearly earned it, and I think they're going to be really good captains for us too. They're unselfish, very unselfish guys.
Steve, good to see you.
Good to see you.
How deep can this team go, and how do you plan on getting all the players in there who deserve playing time in this rotation?
Yeah. I mean, you're always deep until, hopefully we never have any injuries, but there's always something that comes up during the course of the season. Then you wish you had more depth. But when we get Tyson back, I mean, we could play 12 guys, they're all talented. They all do a little bit of something different. They're experienced guys. And, Acuff was the 7th leading scorer in the country last year. So, and he scored points against, in big games. Obviously Martini played on Sweet 16 team. P.J. Hayes can shoot the ball. He's shot the ball as well as anybody from preseason till now, and he's getting in better shape. And then our young guys are getting better. Dylan Grant, can shoot the ball. Maybe one of our better outside shooters too. He's athletic as could be. Lathan's lost weight and has become really effective. Bryce is as good a cutter and offensive rebounder with tremendous length. He's got the longest length on the team. So they all do something a little bit different. You need to have that depth in a league like this too. And looking forward to playing them, playing those kind of guys. We want to play fast. But we can go with a lot of different lineups. We really can. A lot of guards out there. I can play Ace at the 4 spot. I can play Martini at the 5 and put all shooters on the floor. So probably more so than any team I've had here, we can just do a lot of different things, which, I'm excited about.
Coach, you mentioned playing fast. JaMychal Davis has played more games for you than anyone else in the roster. He's only a sophomore. How has he kind of stepped up into a leadership role with a lot of new players here?
Yeah, J. Mike's been, and he's been from last year too. Never has a bad practice. His effort is awesome. He spent a lot of time this summer working on, the things that he didn't do as well last year, and you really notice it too. He's got a maturity about him, and he's got a toughness about him too. I think the 3 guys that returned were clearly our toughest guys, and then we added some toughness too. And I think toughness is a big part of what we were missing last year. And I'm very thankful. He continues to be one of our toughest guys. Never takes a play off. I never sub him out of practice. He's never tired. He's our best conditioned guy, by far. And, he just keeps getting better. And I love that in a kid. He's a grinder, probably overlooked as a recruit, and, wants to prove to some people that he's pretty good too. And awesome on and off the court.
Coach, what has the team chemistry been like this offseason?
You know, again, we all started on, June 15th. So first time everyone was all together, as a team. I think we did a lot of things in the off season. I think they like each other, as you can see on the court. I think they play well together. They make extra passes. They hang out off the court. We haven't hit any adversity yet, so we haven't played a game yet. So that's always a huge part of this whole thing. We haven't doled out any playing time. We haven't picked starters yet. So, we'll know more, once we get to that part of the season. Right now, this is all great. You guys are, saying great things about them. Everything's Disney World at the beginning. Everyone's predicting things. It's amazing predictions too. I mean, I don't know how anybody is. I know I got a lot of new guys. I think every coach I talk to, I'm like, I have no idea. They have no idea. We're just gonna, kind of plug away. Hope we have great chemistry, because that's always a part of it. You got to have, guys that, want to play together and, want to sacrifice together and want to, be unselfish and all those things. So I hope we're going to have it. To date, they've been really good together. But again, we haven't been punched in the mouth yet either.
Coach, you prioritized playing faster and getting out in transition a lot last season in mixed results. With all the size and athleticism on this team, how are they better equipped to be able to, and how much of a priority are you going to make that in terms of playing faster this year?
I mean, I think every year too, like if you guys see me get on the court and say, stop, slow down, then I always tell them the first 8 seconds of the clock is theirs. And I know when you guys sit there and say, run, it's hard to do. It really is. You saw it today, like it's hard to do. Like, and sometimes we do a better job at that. Mike makes us fast. I think, Dylan sees the floor like no one I've had at that point guard position, and he's 6'7", 2 throwing passes, which last year we had the smallest backcourt in the Big Ten, and now we probably have the biggest backcourt in the Big Ten. So that helps you too, to play fast. But I want to play fast. I played at UConn. That's all we did. Jim Calhoun, we ran and we pressed. I've always wanted to, play that way too. But you also got to give your team the best way to win. And, certainly last year wasn't, one of those kind of teams. We had, a ton of injuries, and we had guys didn't have any preseason. And, we really, we went over to Europe last year and we only played 7 guys, just a kind of a different year. But excited about this year. These guys know they're in better shape. I feel really good about that. They all came back and they did, a lot of work. Dave Van Dyke's done a fantastic job too, getting them in great shape. But you got to rebound to run. And, we weren't a good rebounding team last year, and we've been a very good rebounding program through the years. We've hung our hat on that, and, that's a big part of what we got to do. Emmanuel and Lathan, and I think, Ace could be a world-class rebounder, and then he can bring the ball up. I think Dylan's big enough to be, and Jeremiah's been a good guard rebounder, so that's a big part of running is getting the basketball, getting teams to miss. We got to do that. Last year our defense wasn't where it needed to be. Our offense, obviously wasn't either, but our rebounding the ball really hurt us to be able to do that.
Coach, just curious how this offseason might have been different for you than previous off seasons, having so many new guys, freshmen and transfers, and trying to get them on the same page both on and off the court.
I mean, I think, since the portal and stuff, I think it's kind of what it's like every year. We changed how we approached. We did everything team related. We didn't do any individual. Now luckily I got a great team that they want to be in the gym. So those guys are in the gym late at night, and when I can't be there and those kind of things. But so we did everything team. All 4 hours were team. I've never done that in the past. So every time we were together, it was all of us, together for our 4 hours. In the past, I've 2 and 2. That's how I've kind of divided the summer, because I wanted them to get better individually. But I put more of an onus on them. You guys got to get in the gym on your own. You guys got to, get better. But when we're together, we're going to do all team stuff. So hopefully that'll pay off. Hopefully we stole some hours that way. Too. We have more stuff in than I've ever had at this point in time, because I'm just putting stuff in, and we'll get better at it later. But I don't want to be 2 weeks from the opener and say I don't have, this press offense in, or this, zone defense in. So I've stuffed a lot in because we did more team stuff. So I'm hoping that comes back to help us and spending more time together on and off the court, watching film as a team, that kind of thing. So we have changed, a lot of, what we've done in the past.
Steve, PJ Hayes came in here with a reputation as a shooter. What else have you seen from him that's impressed you? Like, did you foresee him leading every wind sprint like he did today?
Yeah, I mean, he's very competitive first and foremost. I mean, story's kind of unique, A lot of people didn't believe in him early on in his career, and he just continues to, get better. He's in fantastic shape. So, and if you ask him, he'll probably tell you the best shape of his life. He can pass the ball. He's become a good team defender. He's very coachable, and I mean, he's got as quick a release as any player that we've had here, and he makes shots. He's a shot maker. We've had shot takers in the past. He's a shot maker. Yeah, really, really excited. Comes to practice every day, works on his game, gets up in the mornings, a great student, from a great family too. Wanted to be here at Rutgers, wanted to play with Ace, Dylan, Jeremiah, wanted to play with those guys. So he's going to add a real, and he's big. He's got really good size, really good size. So yeah, very pleased and with his progress and how he continues to really do a lot of good things for us.
Steve, can you talk more about the schedule? You're going down to Kennesaw, you're going to Las Vegas, you're playing at Prudential, you're playing at MSG. How important was it to showcase this team and Rutgers University as a whole?
I mean, I want to play right here, Richie, quite honestly, every game. I mean, we have the best home court advantage in the country. So some people say I'm crazy as a coach. What are you doing? What are you doing, Pikes? Jersey Mike's is, I think we're 58-13 in the last, losing to 6 ranked teams, maybe, oof. So, showcase our team. Our team gets pretty well showcased. You guys do a great job. Every game is televised. This place is jumping every time we play in it. But we got some opportunities to, go out and do some things, but I think our league is a pretty national stage. We just added 4 more teams that, last time I checked, weren't Division II programs. They're a pretty good basketball program. So, it's iron all over the place, and more and more challenges this year, and we're away from home. I like playing here. I'm kind of funny like that. I like home games, but I like our fans coming out. We're sold out every game. We're gonna have, this will be how many straight sellouts at the end of this year? 64 straight sellouts, by then it's, come a long way with that. But, we're on the road. We'll play those games. They'll be challenging no matter where we go, and, hopefully help us get ready for league play too when we go on the road. As you guys know, it's the most challenging league on the road in the country.
Hey, Coach, I just want to ask you about recruiting. Obviously, Dylan and Ace were 2 really big recruits last year. You have Javante. Are you guys going more for those national, top tier recruits, or program building players? What is your philosophy moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, you're always trying to, get the best players that want to be here. There's a lot of new factors in recruiting. I think July 1st of 2021, they put that new rule in that quietly kept that NIL rule. That's a big factor in recruiting nowadays. There's a lot of factors. So you go after the best, but, there's a lot of things that go into recruiting, and especially recruiting in this modern time of athletics. But yeah, we're trying to recruit the best, but we want kids here that want to be. We've done a really good job of finding kids that want to be here and that want to get better. We tell this all the time. There's not a player when you watch Lathan Somerville the first time he arrived on campus to now he's better. PJ Hayes is better. Ace and Dylan are better than when they arrived. We're going to make guys better. My staff takes a ton of pride. Dave Van Dyke in the weight room, our nutritionist, So we're going to make guys better. So whoever we get, we're blessed to get those guys, and then we'll make them better if they stay. So that's what we like to do, and that's still my philosophy. I want kids who want to be here. We're ranked 15th best public university in the country. We got an unbelievable football team getting ready to play. Is it the biggest game? Is that what you guys are saying? Is it the biggest game? I know Coach Ciano's the best coach, and every game seems big, but it's going to be a great game on Friday, packed. I want to congratulate them, all of our teams, our women's soccer team. They do an awesome job, and there's a lot of good things going on in our athletic program, and I'll certainly be there Friday. My team will be there. They'll be in the student section, cheering our football team on. I'm proud of them, man. That was a great win at Virginia Tech, and hopefully they can keep things rolling too in this new modern world that we're living in.
Steve, how different is this as you enter this season? You know, you guys are a national story. You have NBA scouts are going to be here all the time, and you have two of the top, obviously, ranked players in the country, and people are expecting big things out of this team. You're not under the radar. You don't have a bunch of guys. You know, your best players probably aren't going to be guys that were.
They didn't expect big things before.
I mean, but in terms of before the season.
Every year, I still have that trophy case. So from day one, the first year I got here, trying to win a national championship. So expectations, bring them on. I love that, part of it, but our expectations haven't changed. And I do know some people picked us, 15th, 18th, Jerry, in the league. So they don't have many expectations for us. But we do appreciate the question. We've always had high expectations, and just because you get Ace and Dylan doesn't mean they go any higher. We're trying to get where everyone's trying to get, to the NCAA tournament, to a Final Four, and we were doing that with those guys or without them. We're trying to do this, same thing. NBA scouts have come to all of our workouts, but I think we're the most watched, venue for NBA scouts. So they come through Jersey Mike's, quite frequently in the past too, But having those two guys certainly has been, obviously a blessing. They're talented and they're great kids, and they could have went anywhere, and they picked Rutgers, and so I'm real proud of that, and I'm real proud that they decided that this would be a great place for them more than anything, especially in this day and age. So the expectations are, what you deal with. I never worry about that. I don't know how people predict anymore in college, especially college basketball, the way rosters are and everything else. So, we expect to be really good this year. We expect to, play the best defense. We're a top 10 defensive team. And these guys, obviously, the ball goes in a little bit more, as you saw today. So talent, talent does that sometimes.
Steve, over here, you have high praise for Dylan Harper, and obviously, rightfully so. He's smooth and looks the part. He has all the skills. How challenging is it in this era of college basketball to give the point guard duties to an incoming freshman? And how confident are you in his abilities late in the game?
Yeah, he's the #1 point guard in the country, so given the basketball team, it's kind of an easy decision. But J. Mike, too, will play alongside him. He's a veteran guy. I'm excited, and he's a late game guy. I don't know if you were here for the state championship and stuff. He's a winner, and he's not afraid of the moment. And yeah, he loves basketball. I love that part of him. He loves it. He watches it. He watches film. He's, he really does an unbelievable job, with that. But I can move him around too. That's what I like. His size gives you some tremendous versatility, and we can post him up as a big guard. We can move him off the ball. We can do a lot of things with him. So, but very confident in that position, and confident in our other positions too, like some real development in all of our positions. So, it's good. Hey,
Steve, is this fun? You're showing up every day. You've got two of the NBA picks. You've got a loaded roster. Are you having more fun this fall than you might have had in previous years?
I had a great conversation. I'm blessed. I played for Coach Calhoun and Hall of Fame coach. We talk all the time. He's maybe one of the best people I've ever had a chance to know, and I was blessed that he coached me. But I said to him, Coach, yeah, two of these guys. I said, every out of bounds play looks better. I said, you used to complain all the time, and you had 8. You had 8, and you're still complaining, But Coach kind of laughed and smiled, and he said, yeah, 8. I did have 8. I said, yeah, they used to stay for 4 years too. So what a blessing. But I'm really blessed, with the guys that wanted to play with these guys, and you guys will talk about Ace and Dylan, but Emmanuel Ogmol could have went anywhere at the end of the year. I don't know if you guys saw his body there. It's 6% body fat. He's 285 pounds. He jumps as high as any big guy we've ever had, and that includes Cliff. Just getting better and better, and got him for 2 more years. Blessed. Jordan came from Merrimack, Player of the Year, defensive, offense. Blessed, he's here. PJ could have went. The schools that were calling him down the stretch, and who knows what they were offering. But he came and picked us. And Tyson Acuff, he's the 7th leading scorer in the country. He picked us, and so you feel like like a tremendous responsibility when these guys picked us, and they had a lot of choices. And Zach Martini's a Navy SEAL. That's all I keep saying. Like he hits and he runs and he never stops moving, and he's in great shape. And so that they picked us, and freshmen picked us, and then we got those guys, in those middle classes too that just keep getting better and stuff. But I am having fun. I'm trying to too. I'm undefeated right now, as you guys know, and for this year, and I'm going to try to enjoy enjoy this, and hopefully you guys can too. There's going to be a lot of exciting times here at Jersey Mike's and on the road as we travel a lot on the road. But I always appreciate you guys taking the time to be here today too. So really appreciate your coverage of us, and it's a great university. My son graduated last year. My daughter got her master's from here. It's great people here, and you guys are a part of that. So I thank you for that. So thank you. Thanks, Coach. Have a good day.